Picture this. One quiet Tuesday in the Colorado foothills, Ethan Caldwell was patching a fence post on land his granddad homesteaded in 1962, the kind of morning where the pine-scented wind whispered through the aspens and his herd of black Angus lowed like they owned the place. Then the certified letter arrived, claiming his entire 2,800-acre ranch had just been auctioned off for unpaid HOA dues of $847. He wasn't even in the damn HOA. But the woman who ran Pinecrest Enclave didn't care about little details like reality. Lydia Beaumont had swept into the foothills 5 years earlier from her glass tower life in Los Angeles, dragging her tech bro husband Derek and enough self-importance to fill every 3-car garage in their shiny new subdivision. Built on what used to be open wheat fields, Pinecrest's 52 McMansions sat behind perfectly manicured gates, each one screaming, "We're civilized," while Lydia screamed at anyone who dared remind them the real West still existed right next door. She showed up on Ethan's porch that same afternoon in heels that clicked like a countdown timer, perfume so thick it made the hay smell like defeat. "Those cattle are a visual eyesore," she announced, nose wrinkled. "Our architectural review board has standards. Property values depend on maintaining a cohesive aesthetic." Ethan leaned on his shovel, the same one his granddad had used to break this ground. "Ma'am, with all due respect, your cohesive aesthetic ends at that fence line. These cows were grazing here before your subdivision even had a name." She smiled the smile of someone who already had the county clerk on speed dial. "We'll see about that." Within weeks the paperwork avalanche started. First came the notice of violation for his barn, too rustic, wrong color, non-conforming structure. Daily fines of $50. Then his livestock were reclassified as unauthorized agricultural nuisances. More fines. Then the real gut punch. The county assessor suddenly listed 2,000 acres of Ethan's deeded land as annexed residential agricultural under Pinecrest's HOA jurisdiction. No hearing. No notice. Just a keystroke in a dusty courthouse basement, and suddenly strangers could lien his legacy. Ethan didn't yell. He didn't call lawyers yet. He just sat on his porch that night with a cold beer and the original 1962 homestead grant his granddad had framed, reading every line like it was scripture. Because mechanics and ranchers both know the same rule. When something breaks, trace the connections. The first smart counter came from an old family friend. Tom Whitaker, third-generation surveyor, walked the property line with modern GPS and found something beautiful. The HOA's fancy welcome fountain and marble entrance sign sat 42 feet inside Ethan's deeded boundary. Tom grinned like Christmas had come early. "They built their whole grand entrance on your dirt, Ethan. Legally it's trespass." Instead of storming the gates, Ethan did something colder. He filed a quiet claim for the encroachment, then planted bright orange, "No trespassing," private property signs right through the middle of their precious fountain plaza. Lydia's white Range Rover screeched up the next morning. "You cannot do this," she hissed, voice climbing into that special register only entitled Karens can hit. Ethan leaned against his truck, manila folder in hand. "According to the original federal survey, ma'am, I can. But here's the fun part. Your county assessor who approved the reclassification plays golf with your husband every Thursday. Small world." Her face went the color of spoiled milk. That was when the real game started. Ethan's ex-wife Lauren, a paralegal who still answered his calls when it mattered, spotted the pattern immediately. "This isn't about your barn, Ethan. It's about what's under it." A title search and a quiet tip from a courthouse clerk who hated Lydia revealed the jackpot. Seismic surveys from 18 months earlier showed Ethan's ranch sat on one of the richest natural gas pockets left in the county, conservatively worth $2.4 million in extraction rights. Derek Beaumont's data analytics firm had just signed a fat contract with the same energy company that wanted those rights yesterday. Lydia hadn't been enforcing community standards. She'd been running a slow-motion heist dressed up in HOA minutes. The harassment went nuclear after that. Anonymous complaints to the state AG department claimed his cattle were polluting the creek. They weren't. Rotational grazing actually improved it. His water troughs mysteriously got dosed with diesel one night. Fences cut at 2 a.m. But Ethan had been documenting everything: legal recordings in Colorado, time-stamped photos, neighbor affidavits. And Mrs. Evelyn Hayes, the 81-year-old widow whose backyard backed up to his east pasture, had been secretly recording HOA board meetings on her iPhone for months. "They talk about you like you're vermin," she told him over diner coffee. Lydia said, and I quote, We cannot let that backward rancher stand between us and the gas lease windfall. Ethan's new attorney, Elena Vargas, a firebrand who grew up on a sheep ranch herself, smiled like a wolf when she heard the tape. That's not just civil. That's federal conspiracy to defraud a homesteaded property. The county commission hearing on October 17th was standing room only. Farmers in Carhart, suburban moms clutching lattes, even the local news vans. Lydia arrived in full armor, cream suit, pearls, lawyer who billed by the minute. She opened with her usual sermon. We simply cannot allow incompatible agricultural uses to degrade our carefully planned community. Elena waited until the room was dead silent, then hit play. Lydia's own voice filled the chamber crystal clear. Derek's energy partners are getting impatient. We've invested too much to let some dirt farmer with a rusty barn ruin the mineral rights deal. Manufacture whatever liens we need. Foreclose before year-end. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Lydia's face went sheet white. That recording is illegal. This is character assassination. From the back row, a woman in a dark blazer stood up, badge flashing. Special Agent Rebecca Torres, FBI White Collar Division. Lydia Beaumont, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit wire fraud, attempted theft of federally protected homestead land, and violation of the Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. Handcuffs clicked. The pearls looked ridiculous against cold steel. Lydia tried one last shriek as they walked her out. I was protecting property values. These people don't belong here. The crowd's laughter followed her all the way to the squad car. 6 months later, the dust had settled in the sweetest possible way. Lydia pleaded guilty and took 18 months in federal prison plus full restitution. Derek's company distanced itself, so fast they practically left tire marks. The county passed the Caldwell Notification Act. No more secret reclassifications without certified mail and a 30-day appeal. Ethan's quiet title suit wiped every trace of HOA authority off his deed, and the legitimate gas lease he signed brought in $2.9 million over 15 years. Money that now funds the Foothills Ranch Defense Foundation, helping other families fight the same scam. Every October, now they throw Freedom Ranch Days right on the same hill where Lydia once dreamed of drilling rigs. Kids pet calves, old-timers swap stories, and the only standards enforced are good fences and better neighbors. Lydia thought she was the civilized one, enforcing rules on the uncouth rancher next door. Turns out the real eyesore was the entitled predator hiding behind a HOA badge. True or false? The real power abuser was the HOA president protecting community standards, or the quiet rancher who used the same laws she twisted to send her straight to federal prison. Drop your answer below, and tell me who really got the karma they deserved.